Wait, let me hit record here. We just had a say yes and figure it out moment, you guys. That was so fun. I haven't been able to figure out how to stream on Facebook since yesterday because something changed, and Kristin helped me just troubleshoot it.
Which is the most ironic thing because I actually still can't go live on Facebook in groups. So if you could get me to as far as we got us, then I guess I can take it the rest of the way.
I think that's what we're showing. It's like the power of like collaboration, the power of connection, right? Especially we're in the collaboration network, the power of doing this together. We're not alone. We're figuring it out together, right? It's so cool when you have that. So, all right, you guys, hello. For those of you that don't know me, I see a few new people. So welcome. My name's Stacey Lauren. I'm the founder of Do the Thing. I love helping people build online, activated, and engaged communities. And more recently, we're building this like really cool network of people that are able to help launch people's books, their TEDx talks, their programs, their anything that they want. And guess what? Guess what? My good friend Kristin Gutierrez has a brand new book coming out. And I was like, Kristin, can we please do something about this book? And so here we are. Kristin, share who you are, what you do, talk to us about your book. And then you guys, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about like your moment of this and then really kind of engage the conversation. And then I might, if I'm activated, I might share something that I'm thinking about.
I know this is an open loop from Stacey because she said that to me before we went live. And I was like, tell me now. Okay, how many of you want to leave here feeling activated and ready to climb the next mountain without hesitation? Say, I do.
I do.
Stacey can't help it because whenever we get together, in fact, it says it in the front of my book. She wrote me an endorsement that's like, when I get next to Kristin, my body buzzes and I cannot help but feel energized. So if you're ready, say ready in the chat. My name is Kristin Gutierrez. I am known as the LFG Queen, most recently now the Say Yes Queen, and I am an entrepreneur. I help other people make more money. So I do that through high ticket offers and speaking on stages and writing books. This is actually my second book. So if you've written a book in the chat, say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, write the number of books that you've written in the chat, because I don't know about you, but I didn't grow up thinking I was going to be a writer, right? I don't even read books to this day, which is why this book needs to make its way onto Audible ASAP. If you want me to put it on Audible, say Audible in the chat, and I need to figure that out. But yeah, so I help people move the needle, get out of their own way, get over your own excuses, overcome imposter syndrome. And I do this through a simple 4-step framework that makes Say Yes and Figure It Out possible. And we can talk about that framework. But other than that, like I met Stacey a year ago, and it has been like, the other day she's like 8:30 p.m. She's like, are you with your kids or can you talk? I was like, no, yeah, like I can talk. She's like, let's get on a Zoom. I was like, I'm in my llama pajamas. I love you, but not that much. So, I mean, if you know Stacey, then you know that she is just the queen of all of this. So thank you for having me here. And that's a little bit about me.
And the piece that she didn't tell you is I was like literally crying that night, and she was there like when I was like having a really hard day, and she like helped me through it. And that's what Kristin does. She not only helps you get into action, she helps you believe in what you're doing, and she shows you what's possible. And anytime we're in a room together, it is 100% true. My body literally feels the difference, like, and not only that, but when you see her like learning something, it's like you feel her in action as she's learning it. Like you can feel her implementing. It's like the coolest thing ever. And we've even been on Eileen Wilder we had this plane experience together, and just like I think a lot of those moments kind of connect you, even deeper. I guess when you pay exorbitant amount of money to be in different experiences, it like bonds you on another level because the investment that you're willing to make in yourself, right? And while you're growing and stuff like that. I don't know if you.
That was crazy because I've never flown on a private jet until then. Has anybody here flown on a private jet? I was flying backwards, and I chose a seat and happened to be sitting backwards, and it was not nauseating, but like it was not ideal. And the plane was packed. So it's not like this private jet. So I couldn't, once I sat, that was it. I was stuck. And so this whole time I'm fighting, not actually even feeling well for some reason. And I convinced my brain it was because I was flying backwards. I'm sure it was something else. But then we got into it. We got into the groove of a small group of us. And yeah, it really was an elevating experience in more ways than one.
So
Motion
good.
sickness.
Tell us what Say Yes and Figure It Out is. How did you
Okay.
discover it? Like where did this come from? And then I think we're gonna activate you guys because I'm really curious if you have a Say Yes and Figure It Out like moment, or if you have one that you're like imagining that you want. So yeah, so tell us, Kristin, what is
Yeah, and I see at least one person I've actually worked here with recently. She knows who she is, so I would even love her to share her say yes moment. Um, okay, so April 17th, 2023, wave at me if you remember where you were. Probably not, right? It was a Monday and it was 10 a.m. and I was logging into my Zoom meeting with my boss, who also happened to be the CEO, like I did every Monday. And lo and behold, there's my SVP of HR. My heart sunk. If you have ever been let go from a job expectedly, or in my case, unexpectedly, you know that that does not feel good. Someone say, in the chat. And I'm like immediately texting like my now ex-husband, and I'm like, I think I'm being let go. And we are in the middle of a full house gut renovation of my grandparents' home we bought 2,000 miles away, all the way across the country. And we didn't just choose to rip out carpets and rent this thing for Notre Dame football games. No, I don't know why, but I decided to turn a 3-bed, 1.5 bath home into 5 bedrooms and 4 full baths. So to say that we were middle of the walls wide open, couldn't fake a cash out refi at the moment we got let go, I got let go if I wanted to, would be an understatement. And losing my 6-figure corporate job, renovating this house without cash in the bank, somebody say not smart, not smart. I didn't know what to do. And that is when Say Yes and Figure It Out came to be, because as humans, we seek comfort. And it's very normal or obvious to have sought comfort on this couch. I realize there's a chair right there, but all good. Seek comfort on the couch and take a nap, or binge watch Netflix like I was doing the other day when Stacy called, or eat a box of cookies, right? I subconsciously chose to seek comfort in action. I didn't know what I was doing. I knew that I always wanted to start my own business, but to say we were renovating this house without money in the bank also meant I had no money in my savings. I had no money to start a business and leave my safety net. But that day, and it's in the book, I LinkedIn launched my business. I didn't really say what it was. This goes to a voice memo I was just exchanging to that person I was mentioning. Didn't have a fancy name. I just said I was working for myself now. And I never stopped moving for a full 72 hours later, that entire week. But that day at 10:10 a.m. when I hung up the Zoom call, at 2 p.m. that same day, I won my first client. And I was like, what is happening? And all I kept doing was saying yes and figuring it out. And so the 4-step simple framework for Say Yes and Figure It Out. Are you ready? I want you to write this down. The first step is to decide. It really is like indecision is worse than the wrong decision. To put it another way, not making a decision is worse than making a decision that, guess what, you have to change your mind about later. So in a different world, we'll have some one-on-one conversations, or maybe we'll find these stories on social media one day. But I moved out of this house 7 months ago, and I just moved myself back in. And so like making the decision to move back in, you're like, what does that have to do with anything? But it's like not making a decision. I emphasize not making a decision at all, staying where I had moved to, and then getting stuck, and then getting overwhelmed, and then being like, ooh, this wasn't a good idea, but I have to stay here because I announced that I was moving and everybody knows I moved, would have been worse. Like not making a decision to move back would have been worse. Are you tracking? Okay, so the first step of the Say Yes and Figure Out framework is what? Somebody say it in the chat. The first step is to decide. Thank you. Okay, the second step is to take a step. So I have a funny story because Stacy and I, we got to hang out on this airplane together, right? And we were with 7 other really smart people and our mentor and her business partner, and all good intention. We all come from the same training, and they're all like, you need to name your systems. You need to call your system, the 4 steps of your system, something fancy. Someone say fancy. And I was like, I don't know, because I created the system and now I can't unsee it. Has anybody said that to you, like given you advice that was like well intended, and then you're like, well, maybe they're right. But I'm going to tell you that the 4 steps, they don't rhyme. They don't all start with the same letter, and like that's okay. It's actually imperfect in its own way. So the second step is simply to take one little tiny step. Who knows when Rome was built? Was Rome built in a day? Yes, yes or no? Shake your head. Sarah, let me see. Nope. Rome was not built in a day. And so we aren't going to lose 15 pounds in a day. I wish, because Instagram keeps showing me all the ads saying that if you buy this one thing, you're going to lose 15 pounds tomorrow. But we know that that's not the case. We know that we need to take one itty bitty tiny step. Has anybody ever been a corporate salesperson like I was? Probably not, but like just curious. Stacy, I know I told your story this morning. She used to sell books door to door in college, right? Books. Yeah. I sold yellow page advertising. I've sold all types of things. A lot of times you have to like knock on a certain number of doors or make a certain number of phone calls. And like, how does that feel? It feels very overwhelming. But the idea is you just simply start with the first phone call. Okay. Oh, sales strategy. There you go. So the third step, and we're going to put all of this framework together. The third step is to lean in. Someone tell me in the chat what the second and third step is. The second step is to take a step, and the third step is to lean in. So leaning in depends on what the decision was, but it could be leaning into this community. It could be leaning into your coworkers or your boss or a friend. You could be like phoning a friend. You could be leaning into your virtual assistant to ask them to help you with something. Leaning in is a critical component because you're never really meant to do anything alone. I'm a solopreneur. Is anybody else here still entirely work by themselves, for themselves, without a team? Yep, 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 yep. Right. And like once in a while, I'll try this person out, or I'm trying somebody out right now, but like he's not like my employee, right? And he's very tactically working for me, but that's it. Right now, he's my lean in step. I decided I needed a landing page. I asked Ty for a landing page, right? I took one step. I called Ty. We leaned into Ty. And then the fourth step is the most fun because you go from lean in right to the fourth step. It is to celebrate. Here's the thing. And like life is like about all these huge moments, right? Like, oh, giving birth to your kid, or like having a wedding, or like getting divorced, or like getting your first job, or getting into college, like whatever it is. But so often we look past the little tiny, tiny, tiny things because we think that it's only worth celebrating if it's a really big thing. Stacy and I are in this community where people are sharing like $100,000 day wins. So it could feel intimidating unless the person's activated to understand that, like, showing up, leaning into the community and simply sharing that I did my first masterclass, or I did something, I like iterated my offer, or I made a phone call and I didn't die. Those are all points of celebration too. And so the say yes and figure it out framework is science backed because dopamine gets released not at the celebration stage like you might think. It actually gets released the second you make a decision, even if it ends up being the wrong decision and you need to make a new decision. So the 4 steps are decide, take a step, lean in, and celebrate. And the coolest thing is you get to repeat this framework as many times a day or a month or a season as you need to. It isn't one big thing. It's micro moments that make you move faster and climb higher.
Oh my gosh. It's so funny because I've heard you say this before, but I don't know why, like here right now, I'm like so alive in this. And I'm just curious. I'm curious, how many of you would want to do this formula like together? Where like is it possible, Kristin? Could you do that in a week where you like decide what your thing is and then you take a step?
Yeah, I just help somebody. You do it in a day. You actually can do it in a day. It's not a week. So the week can you see it that there's micro say yes and figure out moments that make up a bigger say yes and figure it out moment? So somebody named Becky hired me recently to help her get her masterclass off the ground and into the world. And within 4 days, tell me in the chat, how many days? 4 days. She went from hiring me to choreographing the entire thing, filling the room, holding the event, booking 2 calls, and without any sales experience, following my coaching and winning her first $25 client. But
Wow.
can you see that within the day she decided, she called me and then decided, that in and of itself was a say yes and figure it out for that moment.
Okay, so here's the idea I had this morning. So just so you guys know, Kristin and I already have this. Are we good? Are we good to hear this idea? And we could see real time if Kristin's in a say yes and figure it out mood. So Kristin and I had this idea. We already have this plan where I'm like, I am so busy this summer, like blah, 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 all the things that come up on why you can't say yes and figure it out, right? And I'm like, I want to do this challenge to help your book and all the things. And I'm like, when's your launch? And then we have this challenge planned in October, mostly because I'm honestly exhausted and I'm trying to like not say yes and figure it out right now. But
Stacy, some fire emojis, right?
yeah.
Love something.
But it's just like there's such power in what's happening. And I feel like Kristin's a part of this plan that I'm working on, which is like eventually like companies, schools, communities, they're going to have these challenges, these do the thing challenges in their community, and other people are going to be running them. And it's going to be like activating all kinds of people. And so that's the vision of like where I'm going. Anyway, we're doing this challenge in October. So I was excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could totally see a say yes and figure it out challenge in my community. It's also a big affiliate launch that the people that are in my program that get to have access to, and actually maybe people outside of it can have access to it as well. It's just a matter of whether or not you run it yourself in your own community would be the difference. So that's happening already in October, right? But what I'm thinking is it could be kind of fun, Kristin, if let's say they buy your book. Like we're on here now, right? How many people? We have 19 people, and then however many are on Facebook right now, I can't tell. But the point is however many people are on here, if we do something where let's say they buy your book, because you guys are probably going to buy it anyway, right? They buy your book. Is your book for sale? They could buy it like today.
Yes.
Okay.
Drop the link.
Drop the link. They could buy your book, and then we could put you guys through like the beta say yes and figure it out challenge. Like, I don't know if it's next week or the week after, like a really messy challenge, where we're just like figuring out. And I think the dares are going to be the formula, but the difference is we're going to be doing it together, versus you're reading her book and then you're doing it on your own. We're going to be doing each step together. What do you think, Kristin?
Yes. And we're still doing the challenge in October?
Yeah, so the challenge in October then will be the people that have been a part of it already. They're going to help us, because the way this is going to be, no one can understand it yet because it's in my head and it still is like happening as we go. But eventually these challenges, like I've seen what happens with Find Your Voice and how I could put it in these different communities. And it like turns on a wild ride all in itself, depending on which community has it. Eventually I'm taking the other challenges that I'm creating, and those are going to be added to a challenge curriculum that companies are going to use, schools are going to use, communities are going to use. It's a bolt on to other things, and there's just a lot there. And so what'll be nice is October, it'll get to like almost like people have already experienced it, and so whether they want to run it in their own group, for the people that are licensed, or they're part of the affiliate launch, so it's still happening in October. It's just then we already have it like designed because we've done it with people. Do you like that?
I mean, I love it. I say yes and let's figure it out. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? And I think Julie Trainer, do you mind? I saw you saying that sounds like a do the thing challenge. And we have to wait because I think Manny's challenge is ending. I have to wait, make sure it's after that because I don't want 2 challenges going on at the same time. But what do you see when you said, I see this as a do the thing challenge? What was activating you? I'd love to hear.
Oh, I could just hear it in your voice. I'm like, I see the wheels turning already.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it. There's only 4 steps, so yeah, you would just repeat them with different things, or as parts, micro parts of a bigger thing. So I'm
Yeah,
not sure. It'd be a short challenge, probably, if we
totally.
were just going to do the 4.
Maybe just a week. Yeah. What's your
Yeah.
say? Let's play with you right now. What is your
Oh
say?
God.
And how do you do this, Kristin? How do you do this? Is it what is your say and figure it out moment, or use your words here?
Well, a lot of times when you hear the framework and you hear other people regurgitating it like Julie did, right? So in the example of this person I named Becky, her say yes and figure it out moment was Thursday when she decided she wanted to work with me. But then between Thursday and Monday, she had many different say yes and figure it out moments working toward the goal. And like the main goal of hiring me was to make more money. And then it just so happened that on the 5th day, she made $25,000. But can you see that in Becky's case? Because then I'll come back to you, Julie, that Becky said yes and figured it out, and as a result, made $25,000 5 days later. And it was one big say yes and figure it out moment with micro say yes and figure it out moments inside. Do you guys all see that?
Wow.
Okay. So then, and it's almost in a reflection. Then there's 2 questions. Stacey's asking a different question, which I love. The original question I used to ask is like, what is your say yes and figure it out moment? Like, what have you done in your past? But it's almost kind of like now, even better, or also just the same, is like, what do you want to say yes and figure it out to? Like, what's your future?
Well, this is similar to the one that I did in the past. In the past, Stacy asked me if I wanted to do a TEDx, and so I said yes, and I figured it out. And then recently,
whoa.
yeah,
That's amazing. So like everybody's like, congratulations, Julie. I don't know you, so like that's amazing. I don't know. Like that's
I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Oh, thanks, Jason.
great.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, and so recently, well, a while ago, actually, about 3 or 4 years ago, I had this idea that I wanted to do a one-woman show about my mom. My mom died, and we had to clean out all the stuff in her garage. And so I have this idea for this one-woman show where I'm kind of like in the garage going through this stuff, but I sort of become my mom, but I'm still me. And I had kind of forgotten about it, actually. And then I was in Mare's thing the other night, and Alison Wonders was in there, and Mare was saying, "What's your dream?" And Alison Wonders said that, yeah.
I was gonna add, Mare is just for anyone who doesn't know, Mare does the dream lifting My People party. So she's a dream lifter. Okay, continue.
So Mare was asking, what dream does anybody want to say what their dream is? And so Alison Wonders said that her dream was she wanted to do like a beta test kind of thing with helping somebody create a one-woman show, because she has a one-woman show, but she's never actually. And I had forgotten that I even wanted to do that. But then I was like, oh, maybe I should say something. So then I didn't say something that night because a lot of other people were sharing, but then I reached out to her and she's like, yeah. So I got on a Zoom with her on Monday and we talked about it, and she had some really good ideas, and we're just going to kind of go from here and see what happens.
Yeah, so it's her say yes and figure it out. She reached out to Alison Wonders. Is that like what it is then? Do you think?
So I'm like, I'm trying to, can I ask first, what's a one-woman show? Because I thought you had made it up and I was picturing something, but then you're like, somebody else has done one.
No, it's like theater. I mean, it's like you, but you don't have any other characters, or you are all the characters. Yeah. So it'd be probably, kind of like stand up, but not exactly.
Actually, it's so funny, Kristin. I could share it with you because we recorded it live. Alison, more context for anyone that's like new to all this, but basically, Alison Wonders is the one that helped me with my TEDx talk. San Diego, she does whatever. Anyway, she helped me with it. So then when she came back to the TEDx San Diego, like a few months ago, she asked me if I could help her put on her one-woman show, meaning like host the space. And so she had it. So we have it all recorded. It's amazing. And so now she's basically like, I love doing this. Everyone's like, you're amazing. And now she's like, now I want to help people do it. And enters in Julie saying, wait, I've always had this dream in my heart, which is so funny now that I think about it. I think I connected you guys, Julie, like even before like your TEDx talk. And then So it's now that I think about how it's coming to life now. But yeah, it is fun. I have it in recording if you want to see it. It's really cool.
You should post it somewhere for sure. Yeah.
I know,
Okay.
right?
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to answer then the question is, can you see Julie, or should I let you answer this?
I don't know. What's the question?
Oh, well, the question she asked was like, what she was like trying to pinpoint like what the say yes moment is, but
Oh, um, let me look at your steps again. What was that? Well, that was okay. I decided that I do want to do it. I took a step. I reached out to Allison Wonders. I guess I'm at leaning in because I'm discussing it also with my wife, who's also my business manager, and we are all three going to have a meeting to talk about more details. So I think that would be the leaning in
and then
to
when
the
wife,
process.
yes. Okay. Give it up for Julie. Give it up for
She
Julie.
loved Allison's idea, by the way. Allison had this idea for an angle that neither one of us had thought of, and it was just like, oh my god. She was like, okay, she's brilliant. I didn't think of that. I love her.
So fun. So yeah, I would even say the original say yes and figure it out moment was a couple years ago, but it stalled. And like I just want to give everyone permission, like that's okay. That's why we're in the room, is like resurrecting an old dream or vision that you had and finally giving it like the ammunition that it needs to take off. And then your next say yes moment is exactly where you are. And when your wife, business partner says yes, that's the celebration stage. But then there's many more. It's kind of like I want to emphasize it's a broad say yes and figure it out moment, but then there's many other say yes and figure it out moments to make it happen. Because once your business partner says yes, then you start the cycle all over. Decide the first step, take the first step, lean in, celebrate, decide, so that we are celebrating throughout the entire process, not simply when society says we should celebrate, which is when the thing is finished and produced. Does that make sense?
I like that. I like celebrations, so I like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it could be like high five and move on with your day. It could be
Yeah.
like, I'm taking myself to lunch for like I did yesterday. Like I'm taking myself to like an actual lunch. And it could be nothing. It could be like texting your, chat or texting a friend and being like, this is amazing. The celebration it just to celebrate the thing, to celebrate. In my case, again, like I've made this rant. I'm like, I didn't tell the story right, but like me moving back into this house is a major celebration. And most people would see it as a decision fail. Like my brain isn't wired to see that like I moved out with my children 7 months ago, split their homes, all the things, broke a lease in order to move back in. And like that's not a fail. That's simply a celebration of another cycle. It's like if we can start to see things as celebrations, right? Then it's like, cool, I made the wrong decision. And Sarah, I want to shout out Sarah. Is she still here? Yeah, there you are. Because Stacy, you were saying something earlier about like almost like saying no. I have to say no, I'm tired. You're like, I'm tired. And in the book, we talk about the permission to say no. Right. So like say yes, I want to set everybody free. So thank you, Sarah. I'll give Sarah a round of applause. So like saying yes isn't always saying yes to the right thing, right? Like sometimes it's just deciding something and then figuring out that it wasn't the right thing. And then also saying yes is sometimes saying no. Because it isn't like I'm not creating a movement of yes people, but it's like say yes, figure it out, move on. Sometimes the moving on is the positive direction, and sometimes it's positive because you're moving on in a different direction.
Yeah, it's so good. Okay, so okay, I want to hear. Thank you, Julie Trainer, for I'm saying Julie because I'm about to call on Julie Bennett. So I normally don't call you Julie Trainer, but Julie Trainer for sharing. And I put her TEDx talk in the comments as well, and that was definitely a say yes moment because it was so funny when I had asked her if she was interested. I did not think she was going to say yes, and so when she said yes, and then her TEDx talk was out like 2 months later. It was like so funny. I was like, oh my gosh! Like not only did you say yes, but it's like already done. And so I imagine the one woman show will be coming out soon, and that will be the one that we'll be watching together, which would be really cool. So yeah, and then Julie Bennett, I'd love to hear you. I saw you say something in the comments, but I also want to hear from the Do the Thing Challenge perspective and like mixing say yes and figure it out how, because you're familiar with it and you've led cohorts within Eileen's group, like just how you're feeling about that idea too.
Yeah, no, I love them. I love the idea of mixing those two things and having it be tied to somebody's very specific goal and that they own, because I think that would, like, I think maybe like people have a common goal or they have something specific they want to work on. The TEDx talk, like that resonates with me because it's like, I think after I was like, oh man, like I want to do that too. Like maybe I could actually do that. And having that commitment and doing something publicly in a group where you're saying like, let's do this together, let's take these steps and get there. And I do actually think sometimes saying yes is like saying no. Kristin, I think that's like a great point, because I've been like working a lot on like raising my floor and saying no to a lot more things so I can say yes to the things that I have decided are the most important in my life. And so and it's not everything and it's not everybody else's agenda. It's like, yeah. Anyway, so I think that would be an amazing combination, and people could get really activated around like implementing their goals. And like it's so fun to be in a room with people that are like achieving their goals, because it motivates you to go out and like do it, right?
Yeah. Do you guys see, like, so Kristin, and this is one of my goals, so the more I say it out loud, the easier it is for me to explain, but like Kristin has this formula to help someone say yes and figure it out, right? And she can work someone through that even one-on-one, where she's like helps someone make 25, I mean, more than this, than even just the recent example, because you've helped people make even more than this, but $25,000 just from saying yes to working with you. And then 4 days later, it's like, here you go, right? And so what the challenge does, it's just an extra tool. Now it brings the group together with her, it's her IP, right? And it just puts it in a group where then people are doing their say yes stories together. So that's where the combination of this is. It's like we're taking her secret sauce of like how to say yes and figure it out, and then the formula for a group to take collective action through connection together. And so that's what's exciting about it. And then what's great is once it gets automated, which is what we would do if I don't change my mind before the end of the Zoom about doing it before October, is then that challenge is then this like living, breathing thing that someone can facilitate as I do the certification thing, facilitate in their own community, to add on a bolt on to their own products or services. Or they could put it in a company. Imagine like find your voice and say yes and figure it out like together. Wouldn't that be so cool? Like one quarter it's find your voice, another quarter it's say yes and figure it out, another quarter it's something else. There's just a lot there. It's like a whole curriculum of community building activation that we're creating. And then maybe there's sometimes Kristin could come into that company as an author or someone else. Anyway, there's a lot going on in my head, but that's kind of like where it's at. But so yeah, anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know.
Stacey, I love your brain. I love your brain. The coolest thing about Stacey, have you guys been hanging around her even for like a minute, and she'll say something and I'll be like, oh, that's a good idea. I should go implement that. Right. And so a year ago when I met you, I actually had the idea to run a Say Yes challenge, and I couldn't get it off the ground. Did I try that hard? Everybody shake your head no, right? Like, don't we give up really quickly when things are hard? 100% I gave up. But I also paused the book. You remember, like this book was like originally June 2024 is when it came to fruition, but it just came out. So I needed to pause. Permission to pause is, it's either a chapter in there or it's like an excerpt or something. Like it's also the concept, right? You have to say no. You also have to pause. My point is, that's what I love about Julie, the other Julie Trainer's example too, is like, think about an idea that you had once upon a time ago that you could now say yes and figure it out, because you're in a different life space, you're in a different season. And I'm just floored that Stacey wants to collaborate with me in this way, because this is a dream come true. It's like, yes, a do the thing challenge wrapped around say yes and figure it out framework is genius.
Yay, so exciting. So with that, Julie Bennett, tell us, what would your say yes and figure it out moment be, or your we'll figure out with the wording, but yeah, what is yours going to be?
Yeah, the thing that my sister and I are working on, we're business partners, and we are meeting with a nonprofit that has a lot of connections. And so it's like, And so we've been, it's like, it's interesting, like the people, like doors open, right? And like all these nonprofit doors keep kind of opening. And we've been struggling with the funding part of that. And I was like, you know what, like this is the door, like we're going to open it. And we will put together a menu of options and figure out how to work with them in a way to deliver. So we can get connected with like other organizations. And this is going to be like, it's just like deciding that this is the moment. And so, yeah. And so it's like led by some professional athletes, which we think like could really open a lot of doors that are well connected. And one of the things we've realized is that financial literacy is a lot of professional athletes. Actually 80% of them go broke or something like that. It's crazy. They spend their money really, really fast. It's kind of like lotto winners. But anyway, it's like these people, the ones that do go on, they create impact in their communities and they're creating ripples. And it's like I can see like it's like if we lean into this, if we just make it happen, we get them the results, like it's the cascade is going to happen. So we'll call my shot. And I want to put as like we have a practice method. That's our, oh yes, honey, you can play timestables.com. I'll get it for you in just a minute. Like clockwork. Anyway, kids are going home from school, so I might not be able to say that long, but yeah, anyway, so great. Love this.
Yeah, no, and let's celebrate Julie and her children. Yeah, because you can see this is a big say yes and figure it out moment. And then it's simply realizing that you need to go through the framework as many times a day or a week as you need to in order to hit the celebration stage. Like I think that's the goal, is like, how many times within the big goal can I hit the celebration stage? Because that'll mean I've completed the 4 steps. And you just keep going and you're going and you're going and you're going.
Wow, so good. Okay, so I'm loving this. So the question is, what do you want to say yes and figure it out to? Who's next? Or what have you said yes to that's stalled? Because like Nicole, I'm seeing you, and I almost think your say yes moment was when you left your job, right? Like, and so maybe talk about that because I want to hear Kristin. I'm trying to get where we can see what when Kristin talks, it's helping me see the challenge. Does that make sense too?
Yeah. So yeah, I was walking into work one day and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I literally heard Dead Man Walking from the Green Mile. I'd been doing this profession for 33 years and I just quit. And so I took a step and I was like, now what? Right. So I moved me around. I took a step and I self-financed myself, I guess, for 2 years to take a step back and take a break and lean in on that. I've just been literally going with the flow. Like if I see something that I want to do, I do it. I started making jewelry and I loved it. And now I figured out my home life was falling apart. So I started working on my home life. My physical house was falling apart. I had to get new pipes under my house. So now I'm doing that. And now I'm maybe working with Dennis. He's a franchisee of a business consulting firm. I used to do that for the federal government. I used to basically be a process improvement program manager for the Department of Defense. And I am, I think, going to work with him and learn his elite EOS program. And we're going to, I'm looking at I have a whiteboard in my room, and we're going to teach the elite program. It's a program for 9 FTEs, full-time employees and under. And we're going to put together like a PowerPoint presentation, and for free, we're going to teach college kids this elite program on what it's like to be an EOS business consultant. Because I guess being an entrepreneur is hard. People have to cold call. People have to like put themselves out of the comfort zone. And his heart is so big. He sees people buying the franchise and then not succeeding, right? So he almost wants to make like a filter before you spend this money and before you go down this road. Ask yourself, can you cold call 50 companies a day? Ask yourself. So I guess I leaned in. I decided I'm not going to be a walked-on employee. I took a step and just calling my husband and thanking him for having my back and moving some money around so I could still at least pay the mortgage. And I leaned in, and that I think I found something that I can do to fill up my Rolodex because I'm kind of bored. And I celebrate when I go to Costco and I can buy food. Yay!
I just had my Costco order delivered, so give it up for Nicole.
Yeah, I still am struggling because I also want to become a motivational speaker for college students, go in and show them how I networked. Oh, and I also wrote a book. Shoot, I forgot. I said yes. I was on one of Stacey's Zooms, and I always talked to her about want to write my life story, and I said yes, and I wrote it, and I think George gave me like 3 weeks, and I was like, what? And so I wrote like an 80-page document in 2 months. So kind of all over the
This
place,
is
but that's what I do.
incredible. No, can you see how we will have, as we go through life, we'll have mega, somebody say mega in the chat, mega say yes and figure it out moments. Like, and Nicole very descriptively told us hers was like, I decided I was no longer going to do this. And then that's when you took the step, quit, you leaned in and you celebrated with your husband to say thank you, right? That goal, like follow, like that mega say yes moment, deciding to have kids, right? Like these big, huge goals, they follow us forever, you know, for better or for worse. and then within this, I wrote down the jewelry, the EOS, the house, that like all these other little like these more like top level goals, like, oh, I should do this, I should. And then within that, there's more say yes moments, right? Does this all track to you, Nicole?
Yeah, like my 18-year-old and I just didn't really get along. Now she's my best friend. And now my 16-year-old, I think, would literally disown me if he could. And we're changing that. So I've been able to focus. All my attention was on my career, money, status. Ooh, look at me. And I almost blew up my entire life doing that.
Well, congratulations on the most important say yes and figure it out moment then. Give it up for Nicole, everybody.
It also shows the power of going to events, you know, like you mentioned the George thing. And I know Dennis, you met at the Do the Thing conference, and he's amazing. Like he's working with a lot of big companies and CEOs and things like that. And so you just never know who you're going to meet when you're at an event. And the point of that is if we end up doing this challenge, that's what it is, right? You're going to be in a room with people doing this together where you're going to meet all these like extraordinary people that are wanting to say yes to things. And that's where the power is like when the people are in the room, then all of a sudden it's so much easier to make the things happen. Just like with Kristin, like we're friends. I was having a really hard time the other day. That's why I'm like, can you talk? I'm exhausted. She talked to me, pulled me down the wall, you know. And it's good to have people. And sometimes when you're in these experiences with people, it's good to know who you can call on when those moments happen, right? So, Laura, hey. Oh, there we
Hey,
go.
okay.
Hey.
Well, can I just say this is like my life motto. Say yes and figure it out, because I have so many ideas, but there's so many things I don't know how to do. So every idea I have, I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. How would I ever do that? You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to do it. So to me, it's not so much the saying yes. I think we all have a ton of things we want to say yes to, but it's figuring out that it's the scary part. Like, how am I going to ever do this? So I think it's great to do the challenges and like combine it, because there's like, okay, I said yes, how am I going to figure out this step? Now I got to say yes to the next thing and figure out that step. And I love the idea of leaning in, because I know that when you lean in, things come. Like, okay, I said yes, I got to here, I got to figure out this. Now the right guy comes to do my website, or the right person comes to do this, or the right VA comes in, or someone says something that sparks something, or whatever it happens. But especially like in a community like this, there's always the person that's going to come along and be that answer for you, just because you leaned in. You said, okay, I'm going to figure it out, I'm going to lean in, and I'm just going to trust that that piece will fall into place.
So good.
That's my 2 cents.
Thank you. Thank you. So, okay, you guys, so let's just play this idea of this. So basically the way the Do the Thing challenge normally work is they're $47, right? Because we would be doing this messy and real life and all the things. The admission to join the challenge would just for you guys and for whoever. We need 15 people to make a challenge like work, you know, in the way of the group momentum. So I would want to know like who all, because I don't want to promote this. That's part of my like exhaustion. Like I like it just people just have to join. So basically who all would be interested in doing this? You would basically buy the book that would give you your admission to join this challenge. It would be amazing. I actually can't wait. I would want to participate because I have a say yes moment that I have to like articulate more. But hey Jared, good to see you. And so yeah, so that would be the question is who's in? Okay, cool. So Caitlin's in, let's see. Julie's in, Sarah, are you in? Callie's in. Okay, cool. Lynn, Sarah's in. Yes, price of admission is the book. Julie's in. Okay, cool. And then if you guys could even invite people, that would be even better. Like, and for those of you that are doing my people parties, have a my people party. Talk about it. Talk about you're doing this challenge. It's going to be messy. Just so you guys know, I don't know if we're going to have a landing page or any of that stuff. It's just going to be like a really messy kind of challenge. Kristin, just so you know, so I have it's a challenge framework based on engagement to help people like connect together. And so the way we would do it is we would have to have a kickoff for it. And then we would have a celebration, which is great because that ties in with your formula. So it'd be like probably Monday we could start it, and then a Friday, and then every day we would do a dare based on your formula. And then you and I would be just doing videos each day, basically like giving the dare. And then through that, I'm working in my do the thing formula and the comfort circles to get the group to do it together, using your formula. Like it's going to be the coolest thing ever. Like really.
Oh my gosh. No,
Yeah.
Laura, unfortunately, there is not an audio version yet.
Not yet.
But
Not yet.
that is amazing, Stacy.
Okay, is this the say yes moment then? So what do you think about you guys? I don't remember when Manny's challenge ends for those of you that are in that, but we could either do it next week, like on the 19th, or on the
Matt's
20th,
in Manny's challenge. Matt, when is it over? Matt's in it.
you know?
He'll check.
Okay,
I
well,
say the 17th.
17th. Carmen,
I could be wrong on that.
okay, cool. Carmen, I see you on Facebook. And Anne-Marie, I don't know if you guys know also.
It would be amazing if it ends the 17th, if we could start the 19th, because the week after is Memorial Day. I mean, next week's just, well, for me, it's just a very
Well, if you order the book now, you'll get it on the 16th. That's what mine's coming. So.
Oh, that's right. We'll want you guys to have the book too. How long do the books take to get out if they order them today?
Amazon said it will deliver it May 16th, and I just ordered it right now.
Yeah, it would be like probably like a 5-day challenge, but again, it's going to be like messy. We don't know exactly. We just know it's like amazing because you basically are going to get what's most people are going to be paying $47 for. You're getting with the price of Kristin's book. And hold on, Kristin, do you mind talking? My daughter's calling, and I'm just going to check in with her.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Jared's saying he missed it all. How long is the challenge? I think we would do the challenge Monday through Friday. And so I don't know how she normally does it. I mean, the kickoff could be Sunday or it could be Monday. And then we would do a dare every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then we would celebrate Friday. So we would either double dip on Monday and Friday. I'm saying when's the challenge? So it sounds right to my brain, but I'm not in your world, that it would be Monday through Friday. And we would either do a welcome party on the same day as Monday that we kick off, or the kickoff, whatever you call it, sorry. Yeah. And then the celebration would be on Friday. And I don't know if then there would be it'd be like a dare Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or what that would look like.
Yeah, we'll figure all that out, I think. I think for now, if we just say we're gonna do it we could do it at 12 o'clock on Monday on the 19th, 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, the kickoff. How does that sound, you guys? We're like building this right now. This is our say yes.
Can we do it at 12:30? Can we do it at 12:30?
12:30. Let me see.
We can do it at 12.
12 is okay. Okay, because I have something at 1. Okay. Oh, sorry. She's calling me back again. 1 second. Do you want to keep going?
Who's excited? Tell me if you're excited. I love all the chat.
What was the date you decided on?
Monday, May 19th.
At 12.
at 12 p.m. Pacific.
Pacific.
Jared, yes, we're doing a janky challenge starting Monday, May 19th for Say Yes and Figure It Out, wrapped in Stacy's Do the Thing challenge. She just had the idea and we're leaning in, saying we made a decision, we're taking a step, we're leaning in, and we're celebrating. And that is the framework. Some books won't have arrived yet, but I mean, we're going to do this again. There's a book launch party on June 12th. Stacy and I believe, are going to do a challenge, like, because I think of some of the books, there is like extraneous circumstances, right? We've got New Zealand or Australia I saw in the house. Why would you not get yours till the 21st, Sarah? I wonder.
Will they be able to, after they buy it, can they get a digital copy, or is that not gonna work?
Yeah, it's on, if you have a Kindle, the Kindle bundle or whatever it's called, it's free already.
Cool.
Yeah,
Great.
and it's instant. Yeah, I saw
Great.
that. I'm an 80s girl. I have to have it in my hand. It's so weird.
Yeah. Okay, so we are doing this then. Is that what's happening? We're doing this? Okay, this is gonna be messy. You know, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. You guys are gonna just see how Do the Thing challenge is born, like fast. I know some of you have seen it a little bit in different environments, but this is gonna be a different one because I have plans for this in October of what we're gonna get to do with it, because we're gonna do it really quickly now and then get more people involved. So, okay, so it's at 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on May 19th is when we're kicking off. Please invite people to it. Their ticket is her book. So if you guys could can everyone say you'll invite one person? Because that will help, because then we don't have to do any like promotions. Can everyone agree? You're going to join, you're going to buy the book, you're going to invite someone, they're going to buy the book. That's your ticket. You buying it and then them buying it, and then you guys are in the challenge. Are we good? Jared, are you good? How you
I'm
feeling?
over here looking for the link right now so I can get this book. I'm like,
Good.
yo,
Let's get the book.
what? Because I came in at the end of it all, clearly. So from what I see, Kristin has lit y'all up with her energy, and everybody has heard what they've heard. You in the Stacy verse, so you get to hear everything from Stacy and watch her do it, Jackie, taking phone calls from those who are valuable and important, her daughter. And then Kristin is just sitting back chilling. It's like, so what are we doing? Are we doing this? Okay, cool. Yeah, let's just okay. Just she's literally doing what she's telling you. Stacy is teaching us how to do the thing, and Kristin is like, I'm saying yes in front of you. I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes. I didn't know I was going to say yes to this, but I'm saying yes so I can be an example to exactly what it is my book reads. Oh, by the way, get the book. Okay, so I'm about to get this book. That's why I was looking for the link. And then talking about a challenge coming up. So we get to watch things get done. What you guys don't know is let me take my glasses off. I met Kristin when we were at Eileen Wilder's, well, one of the $1 million workshops. It's also when I met Stacy. Kristin and I were in the same group though. So we like she got to see my family and everything. I love my family. I'm always with my family. I don't go anywhere without my family. And then her boys, I know that's her world. So to watch her go from wherever she has been, journeying through this process and path, and then literally exemplifying exactly what it is she's been working on unawares and bringing it into actual manifestation and fruition, and then to be right here with Stacy. Like I didn't know I saw that. I said, "Oh, I don't care how I'm feeling. I don't care what I'm got going on. I'm about to last minute show up. I'm showing up." And Kristin is saying yes and doing the thing at the same time. I said, "Wow, say yes and do the thing. What? That's a whole collab, and it's happening." So yeah, excuse me for ranting, but
Oh, it's great. We love it. It's so good. And it reminds me, you guys, just so you know, like Kristin is someone people pay a lot of money for to be like working with her. And so the fact that we're going to get her in a more intimate group during the challenge is really cool. Like even Eileen Wilder is using her for to help people do their $1 million masterclass. Like she's the one that she has them meeting with Kristin. That's like part of the thing. So like they've paid $25,000, and then Kristin is one of the people that they meet with. So I just want to show you the power of like who we're going to be around during this like small intimate experience is really, really cool. You just happen to be here at the perfect moment when we're like, let's just do this. We're going to do a bigger launch in October where you guys will be involved in the launch if you want to. And we're just going to like figure out what it is now. So it's really, really exciting. And yeah, so the ticket to get in is going to be to buy the book. And then, and I'd love you to invite a friend, but feel free to invite more friends. And then their ticket is to buy the book, and let us know if you invited them. So then it'd be fun just to kind of see. I don't know. That could be weird. There's no time for contests, but we'll just pretend. So cool. Anything else you want to add, Kristin, on this?
No, I mean, we'll figure it out and then communicate in your group, or I don't know how you usually do this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you guys do this? Yeah. Why don't you help us right now? Spread the word. We have the collaboration network. Let's do that. This is fun. This is we're seeing, I know a lot of you are in that group. So I think it's important for you to see how things get activated is you just add energy to it. So I'm going to put the link for the group in the chat. So feel free to go in there and say that you're saying yes and figuring it out. We're going to start the challenge on Monday, what you're excited about, or you could share what your say yes story that you guys want. And yeah, that's what it is. It's going to be a say yes and figure it out, a do the thing challenge powered by the formula. So yeah, super exciting. So yeah, feel free to go in the collaboration network, let everyone know what your takeaway is and what you're excited to even work, what you're excited to say yes about. I think that would be a good thing to do. So Kristin, thank you. Thanks for playing with me.
This is the most fun I've had all week. So thank you everybody for showing up and playing full out. And thank you, Stacy.
Here we go. Well, you know, when they buy your book, you'll know who it is. So then we know how to, like, that's the only thing I don't know. How are we going to?
I don't have a book funnel.
Okay, so we just figure out when they buy the book. Can you guys just email me so I know you're in the challenge? That would be great. Let us know, or send me your receipt. That'll be the good thing.
Yeah.
Forward the receipt that you bought the book, and then that will be how we how we see you in the challenge. So great. All right, you guys, thank you. Love you all. You're amazing. Do the thing. Don't wait for opportunity. Create it. Say yes and figure it out. Bye.